All right, another day, another voiceover. So this is yesterday, Tuesday. Still rocking the low bar squats, 425, 3 sets of 5. Again, the first set being the shittiest set. Legs are too wide. Bob my head a little bit. You can see the lifting tape that I put down to look at. I was actually stressing myself out a lot this session because I was like, man, I'm way too upright. And so the lifting tape is like half a foot from no, it's a little bit more than that. It's just at the outside of my rack. So it's like a foot and a half away from me, maybe 2 feet away from me, less than a yard for sure. And I'm like just trying to like lean over so much. And it's like, oh, I'm high bar squatting my low bar squat. And I just, it doesn't like, I can't lean over anymore. I'm going to like good morning it. Like that's the way I'm feeling. But everything else looks good, right? And I'm seeing that like, my hips are definitely initiating my drive out of the bottom, which is what low bar is supposed to be. And my chest is rising at the same time, or not chest rising, but my shoulders are coming up at the same time. And then I think like after my last set, or maybe before my last set, I go on YouTube and I'm just looking at like, videos of people at like starting strength, like being coached on how to squat. Oh yeah, man. I'm listening to this band Loudness, a Japanese metal band. I didn't even know that Japanese metal was a thing. I found out about it yesterday. Pretty freaking good, man. Because I think they stay more true to the genre. They don't try to like experiment around like British and American bands do. Because the genre is not, these are bands trying to emulate that. But anyway, so I'm looking at these videos of people at like starting strength seminars squatting, and I'm like, oh man, like some of them are more upright than I am. So I stopped pressing myself about it. Like I don't know why I felt like I had to look like a damn, I guess it's like a 30-degree angle. I don't know why I felt that I had to make that. Maybe I even am making a 30. I don't know. Maybe what I'm looking for is like a 0-degree angle pretty much. Like my belly should be touching my thighs, but that's just not what a low bar squat is. So had to stop stressing about that. And then you got some bench today. I don't think that my last bench video ever got uploaded. I think that got lost into the void when I was having issues putting my videos together. So this is 272. Last week, my last bench session was 270. The first one was like 295, 296 or something like that. And then that's when I decided to deload and start with a close grip. I'll talk about this in my car talk. I'll make some sense of this. But yeah, I mean, this is actually moving a lot better than the 270 did. Obviously, like I can't reference that for you. You just have to trust me. But the 270 was actually pretty difficult. I didn't eat enough calories yesterday. It was a pretty busy day for me. Even though I was off work, I was taking care of a bunch of shit. So this moved a lot better, and I thought it was going to move really, really shitty. But like, look at that. Like the freaking pause just being thrown off the chest. I'm really happy with that. So, the 5th rep on all these was hard. You'll see this in a second. Here you go. Freaking grinding that shit out. But like, I don't care. If the other 4 reps feel that easy, like whatever. I'll explain the bench progression in the car talk. All right, so here we go. Lying tricep extensions, skull crushers, whatever you want to call them. This comes from a recommendation of Cool. All right, he said to put my legs underneath the bar in the rack for stability. And that worked, but then I had to set this bar on the pins because that's why I realized I can't lift it up off the ground, bring it to my legs and press it up. Luckily, it fits. The outsides will fit on the what are those things called? The safeties like that, like perfectly. And it's a pain in the ass to pick it up, and then you just got to like ninja maneuver your way out like that. 2 sets of 10 with 130. This is probably going to be twice a week exercise starting next week because I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate the bench progression and the press progression together. I think I'm going to end up benching on Fridays with the with my deadlift workout, and then Saturdays I'll just press. So then I won't do this on Fridays because I'm already going to deadlift too, and I won't do it on Saturday because I pressed the day before.
All right, installment 3, season 3 of Car Talks. So I guess we got to talk about bench, but yeah, we got to talk about bench. Before I get into that, though, I know it's like totally 100% like troll and rage bait, but some dude commented on my video from the other day. He's like, how is this guy with small triceps? And I think he said something like way like trying to be like more provoking than that. But he's like, how is this guy with tiny triceps moving so much more weight than me on skull crushers? I must be doing something wrong. No, it's a troll attempt, but I do have to address this. Like, if you're gonna come after my physique or my lifts, at least get it right. If you're gonna go for my physique, then say something about my calves or my chest. If you're gonna go after my lifts, say something about my bench. But going after my triceps, like, what are you talking about? Like, why? Like, I'm not the biggest dude on the planet. I'm not the strongest dude on the planet. I've made that very clear, and people will say, like, you know, when I say something's not impressive, they'll be like, oh, what do you mean it's not impressive? Or things like this. Like, look, I get it. You know, it's about perspective. Like, walking around, you know, I'm between 225 and 230 right now, depending on the day. I work a service job. I see a lot of people. And I will occasionally get comments from strangers regarding my physique. And arms is normally the go-to compliment. I've even had somebody say that I think my girlfriend showed a coworker a picture of me, and she's like, oh, his physique is funny because his arms are so much bigger than the rest of his body. That's not true. Just so you know, the shirt that I was wearing, the Iron Maiden Senjutsu shirt, makes my arms look huge, and that's why that was the shirt that I was wearing in the picture she showed her. But like, I literally had a dude like come up and like grab my, like hold my arm and like feel on it. Last time I was at work, so I like, really, arms, like, get it right. But I don't know. I've also had people, I posted like a squat video one time, like, how can you move these weights when you have middle schooler legs? Like, legs are like the biggest part of my like physique. They if any, like, but just being so obsessed with like squats and deadlifts very early in my training career and foregoing pressing to work on those kind of made like my legs overpower the rest of my physique for a very long time. Like you say, I have like middle school boy legs. Like, what are you talking about? That's insane. So if you're gonna come after my physique, get it right. Now that we've spent 3 minutes addressing the physique allegations, we gotta talk about bench. So yeah, I lost the bench video in the void. So I have to like kind of address why my grip is the way it is and everything like that. So I did 2 bench sessions last week. I already talked about this in the voiceover, never mind. When I decided that I had to deload and reload the bench, I was still considering competing in powerlifting this year. And you know, I'll explain why not after this, but I saw that there was a bench and deadlift, a push-pull meet in my area at the beginning of December. So I was thinking about competing in that. Now I'm not thinking about competing in that anymore because it's like very, very pricey. It's pretty steep price-wise. Then I got to pay for the membership to that federation, and it's going to run me like $300 just a bench. And if I want to deadlift too, it's like another $50. So I'm not really financially in a place where I can afford that at the moment. So I'm not going to do that. Maybe at the beginning of next year, when the financial situation's a little bit better, like in the, you know, springtime, like late spring next year, might consider competing, but not this year. But I was still considering this when I started the cycle for this bench cycle, and I'm just not going to change it. So basically start real close, and what you can progressively do is move the grip out as, like, you know, once I hit a wall with 3 sets of 5 with this very close grip that I'm rocking, excuse me, I'm going to go another finger out. So like I have my index finger on the smooth right now. Put it on the knurling. And then once I hit a wall with that grip, I'll move my thumb, because the thumb is like kind of outside the thumb's kind of outside. Like if you put the ring finger on the knurling, the thumb will be on the smooth. So then I'll go thumb on the smooth, and I'll just like kind of increase it like that. I don't know how wide I'll let it get, but yeah, so that's like the basic general progression that I'm following. So you just kind of try to milk each one for what it's worth. It's like a pretty common, I think that there's some power lifters that train that way. They'll start their cycle close grip and end it with a wide grip. And that's also why I'm pausing the first rep. I mean, it's probably more optimal to pause all the reps, but just the first will suffice. I know that's a thing too. I used to read, what the hell? The things I see in this neighborhood. I remember I used to read Jamie Lewis, Chaos and Pain blog, a couple years ago. And he had these articles about stop bitching, start benching. And that was one of the tips that he gave is, you know, you should pause at least the first rep of your set. Like if you're doing like sets of 3, pause the set. First rep, pause, you know, whatever. That's what he said was a pretty generally good idea for building a decent pause bench. So, or a competition standard bench, because I think when he put out those articles, he was still competing in powerlifting. And I've never really put that into practice until I can't remember if I was doing that when I was running Texas Method earlier this year, and April and June, I think I might have been pausing the first rep when I was thinking about competing. That's when I started thinking about competing. I don't remember, but whatever. And just because I'm not going to compete doesn't mean I don't. I'd still like to get a good base for a good pause bench, and then if I decide, if that comes around end of November, December, then I know like a good starting place for when I decide to ramp up a peak if I'm going to compete in like April or something. I'll have a good idea of a starting point for where I need to end up, and if I bulk at all. And that was another thing that deterred me away from competing, is like right now I'm a little bit too heavy to get back down to 220. Like I could water cut my way there for sure, but then you kind of run the risk when you stay at the weight of like not carrying your progression out to the furthest. So I might be able to fill out 242 nicely. By that I mean not just speedily bulk my way there and get all fat 8 months from now. So see how that goes as well. But yeah. Ben, also another thing too with a close grip bench is I just really like more aesthetically pleasing lifts like that. Like I'm a high bar squatter that's being forced to low bar right now. I don't think that there's anything in all of weight training that looks more pleasing to the eye than the bottom of a high bar ATG squat. Like when you're damn near sitting on the floor, that looks really fucking cool, right? But I can't do that right now, so I got to make up for it somehow. Close grip bench looks really fucking cool, especially when you pause it. That's good pressing strength. That's a good test of pressing strength. And I mean close grip, none of the powerlifting BS where you just like, my hands are at shoulder width. Oh, no, I guess shoulder width would be. My hands are inside the rings instead of with my index finger on the ring. This is a close grip bench. No, it's still a wide grip bench. Get out of here with that. Conventional deadlift, if you don't hitch it, if you do it like, and I'm not shitting on straps by any means. I mean, my best all time is pulled with straps. I think that straps are great. You should use straps. But like a good mixed grip or hook grip conventional deadlift that's not hitched is very aesthetically pleasing. A strict press is very aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, I use the press 2.0. I've done some good strict pressing, but a strict press is one of them, is also very aesthetically. But you know, it's probably number 2 behind a high bar squat is a strict press. So yeah, that's about it. I will be back on Friday.